Hello, everybody, pay attention. If you can hear me once, clap. If you can hear me twice, clap twice. If you can hear me once, clap. If you can hear me twice, I need everybody to bring it in. I know it's fun. I know you're having fun. I know everybody's eating well. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. All right. We're going to get started with the program. Everybody, we're about to start the program. For those in the back, on the wall, by the windows, we're about to start the program. All right. Bring it in. I know. It's okay. I know in the back they can't really hear. I know. I was back there. We're good. Okay. No, I got you. Trust me. I was trying not to. Okay, everybody, keep going. We're getting there. All right. Bring it in. There we go. Slowly down. No, it's okay. Louis, can you hear me? Tell everybody else. We're about to start the program back there. All right? Everybody hear me? We're about to start. All right. Now we're going to back it up to the front. We're starting the program. Bring it on. Bring it in. I'm trying, but I'm trying to be good about it. I don't want to just start, I'm just trying to everybody we're in a good space. It's nice, fun. Everybody's having a great time. All right. Is this live? Can you still hear me? Not really? We'll go back to the wireless. No problem at all. All right. Now that we have everybody's attention, there it is. Now that's a nice, calm, peaceful environment for us all to enjoy this wonderful program we have for you. So thank you. So as they're finishing up, where's Audrey? Come on back up here with me. All right. Thank you. How's everybody been doing today? Well, I'm waiting on Audrey to come. It's been a great day. If you haven't had a chance to kick your day off today, we had the Martin Luther King prayer breakfast of the YMCA. We had a great speaker with Dr. Bowler there talking about environmental justice, the original environmental justice. Had a chance to stop by Hope Elam event. They had the Beloved Community event today. They had Sam Acho was the guest speaker for that one today as well. So now here you are today. We're in this evening. You got yours? I
got you. I'm ready
to go.
We're good.
All right. So put this down. Officially, get started. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Dr. Marvin DeGier. I'm the Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for the Greater Des Moines Partnership. So thank you all for taking the time to join us here today for our Martin Luther King multicultural reception in partnership with the City of West Des Moines Chamber, the West Des Moines Historical Society. Human Rights. I got the Human Rights Commission, but there's also the Historical Society as well. It's a lot of West Des Moines in there, so you have to just. It's great. Let's give a round of applause. I do this by myself, but because we've been doing in such a great partnership with the City of West Des Moines and really to celebrate, because Audrey Kennison, if you don't know, she is the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the City of West Des Moines. Thank you. Give a round of applause. That's huge. Now, this time last year, she was our keynote.
That's right.
And now she's running the thing. Look at how that works. Keynote, running it. Well, Audrey, go ahead. I'm gonna give you a couple. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate it, Marvin. Again, as Marvin had said, this is all about collaboration. So I want to thank each and every one of our sponsors, our supporters, our planning team. It took a lot of folks to make this day to come together. So if you were involved in any capacity, if you can please just briefly stand, I want to thank you. There's plenty of folks in this room. Go ahead and stand. And listen, Dr. Rich Salas, I got to just say thank you. There are a lot of folks. Again, our Councilwoman Renee Hardman, her vision, Dr. Salas, who has got us to where we are. And so I thank you for everything you've done to make this come to fruition. And again, I know our human rights commissioners are carrying the torch to continue the legacy. And so thank you to you all for being here. Welcome to, again, our multicultural reception program. MLK Day celebration. It's a lot, y'all, but we're here. So this is a day on, not a day off. So I applaud you because, again, I think oftentimes we sit passively and just think about the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. This is a chance for us to actively build that beloved community. So thank you for being here. At this point in time, I'll transition it back to you, Marvin.
Well, thank you again, Audrey. Audrey said something very key that I want you all to remember. Today is a day on, not a day off. But tomorrow is the same day. Let me say it again for you. Tomorrow is the same day. All this energy and excitement you're feeling throughout today, take this same energy every day for the rest of the year, next year, because it's important. I know these last couple of years, we've had a lot of ups and downs and swings, from pandemics to all other social unrest and all kinds of things we may not have thought we'd experience in our lifetimes. But if there's ever anything more important now than ever, it's for everybody to have the same energy of being together, feeling this love, this energy, what it feels like of having everybody from black, brown, yellow, green, purple, all in the room today. But it's what Martin Luther King envisioned, right? And if we cannot afford to wait for this to become an issue of importance again 50 years down the road. We can't go another 50-year cycle, ladies and gentlemen. This energy you have today, we need everybody to stand up and continue to build moving forward every day from this point forward. No days off. Maybe the weekends. I might give you Sunday just because that's what the good Lord said. Okay. But no, seriously, just take that with you. Remember, you're on from here on out. You're activated. You all are in the room. You're activated. So at this time, I'm going to bring up my president and CEO, Jay Byers of the Greater Des Moines Partnership. He's going to give us some welcome comments here for us to keep us going along because we have a nice program today. And trust me, I do not want to slow it down because it is a lot of fun today. So here you go, Jay.
Well, good evening, everybody. A big thank you to Marvin and Audrey. Just great leadership. Let's give these two a big round of applause. It's been a powerful day, I know, for me and hopefully for all of you here in the DSM region. And Marvin mentioned a couple of events, but there's been events that have been happening all across the region today. And I know that there's some of you who I've seen now at least 3 times a day. And Marvin mentioned these because I know we've been following each other here and there. But if you didn't hear Dr. Robert Bullard at the YMCA this morning, the prayer breakfast, it was amazing. He's got a ton of books, so make sure to check out his work. And then also at Hope Elam, Sam Acho, who spoke today, also has a couple of books out. And again, just a really powerful service. And then again, we get here today and standing room only. The room is packed. We're going to have to move to a bigger room next year. How about that, right? Also want to recognize Tiffany Tauschek, another one of our colleagues who is here today. She is our COO, so say hi to Tiffany. Thank you. And so excited, and I'm going to mention the partners again because I think that mentioning all the partners really make this such a powerful event. So again, a big thank you to the City of West Des Moines, the West Des Moines Human Rights Commission, the West Des Moines Community Schools, West Des Moines Historical Society, Des Moines University, Polk County, Taste of the Junction, Meals from the Heartland, and of course our great friends at the West Des Moines Chamber. Let's give Catherine and her team a big round of applause too. Also, a big thank you to our hosts here, the Mid-American Energy Company, RecPlex. What an amazing facility. Let's give them a big round of applause. Catherine was talking about how when she got here today that it was just packed with ice skaters. I like to bring my daughter here to ice skate. She's in college now, but just a tremendous facility. I don't even live in West Des Moines, and I'd love to come here to ice skate. So let's give our hosts a big round of applause. And so, how many of you were here last year? Okay, that was the first year that we partnered on the Martin Luther King Jr. Day multicultural reception, and we're very excited about that partnership and really look forward to continuing to do that in the future. And we all know, all of us in this room are all on sort of different journeys. As a region, we're on a journey. We've made a lot of progress, but we still have a ton of work to do. And we know there's still lots and lots of challenges out there. But this is, again, part of our journey, and we'll continue as a region to move forward and have these important and honest and real conversations about the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion, where we are, and where we need to be. If this is your first multicultural reception, welcome. The Greater Des Moines Partnership hosts typically about 4 of these a year, and we very much welcome you to attend future multicultural receptions. And if you're interested in partnering with us in the future with the location and content, please let us know. Talk to Marvin. We host a number of other DEI events throughout the year, so please participate in those as well. And also a big shout out again to Catherine and her team. I know the West Des Moines Chamber hosts a lot of great DEI program as well, so make sure to take advantage of all the great things that Catherine and her team are doing. And also, just in terms of the Greater Des Moines Partnership, if you know of any businesses that we can be helpful with, we do a lot of work within inclusive business strategies. So if there's any businesses that you think would be good candidates for our accelerator or incubator, please let us know. And if you need some assistance with your companies in terms of DEI strategy, Marvin's a guy to talk to. We're actually going to be rolling out some new DEI training here yet this month. And so look forward to that. We're very, very excited about that. And Marvin's done a great job helping lead that and put that together. So look for that. So again, stay tuned for more announcements and things that are happening. And again, thank you for joining us this evening and continuing on your DEI journey. I think as we're moving forward from tonight, and as Marvin said, this isn't about one day, this is about every day. And there's been lots of quotes that I've heard today and read on social media from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But the one I'm going to say today is because think about where you are today and think about when you come here next year and what you were able to do. So the quote is, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others, right? So when you get out of bed every day, what are you going to do when you go to bed? What did I get done, right? This is, I like to say this work is all about Moneyball, right? This isn't about hitting grand slams. It's what are you doing every day to move the ball forward? And when you come here next year and you look back and say, what did I do over the last 365 days? Only you can answer that question, right? But we know, but that's my call to action for every one of you, because if we all do that, this is going to be a much better region for all of us. So that's my challenge to all of you. What are you doing for others? And think about that every single day. So with that, I'm going to bring forward the West Des Moines mayor, a longtime friend of mine. And thank you, Russ, for hosting this in West Des Moines. So Mayor Russ Trimble, and Russ is going to be reading a Martin Luther King Jr. Day proclamation. So again, thanks to all our friends at West Des Moines for hosting.
Thank you so much, Jay, and I appreciate you and the partnership being here. Before I read the proclamation, I just want to recognize some elected officials that are here, and almost every time I do this, I forget somebody, so I'm sure I'll forget someone. First, I want to start out by recognizing our new state representative from West Des Moines, and more importantly, my neighbor, Mary Madison. Mary, you stand up. McCoy for being here. Second row. Didn't forget you this time. I'm going to forget somebody else instead. Councilman Matt McKinney is here. Matt, if you could wave. Councilman Greg Hudson standing close to him. Also from the West Des Moines City Council, we've got Councilwoman Renee Hardman right up here. We've also got our incredible city manager, Tom Haddon, is here. Tom. And then, of course, everybody here knows Audrey Kinnis, our amazing DEI director. Rob Denson from DMAC was here. I'm not sure if he's still here. He may have had to leave. Also want to make sure that I mention Catherine Harrington, who is the president and CEO of the West Des Moines Chamber, who's doing a ton in the DEI space with the Chamber. our West Des Moines School Board officials that are here. I saw Fanette Elliott is here. Fanette, if you'll stand up. And Anna Delia Morgan as well. Anna. Our new incredible superintendent of West Des Moines Schools, Matt Adams, is here. And then the guy that keeps Valley High School humming, David Maxwell, is here. It's an honor to have him here as well. Hopefully I didn't forget any elected officials, but I've also learned my lesson. One time I said, anybody that I forgot, please stand up, and I didn't recognize the individual. But I also do want to ask for our human rights commissioners and our human service advisory board members that are here to please stand up and be recognized for all the work that you do. So Martin Luther King Jr., what an unbelievable human being and leader. One of the greatest leaders of all times. He was honorable, noble, dignified, respected, powerful, impactful. He was passionate and firm in his convictions. He was persistent, and he stood up for what he believed in, even in spite of threats on his life and attempts by others to kill him. He was extremely eloquent and intelligent, and people hung on his every word. He was motivational, inspirational, and always worked to carry out God's will. In the face of violence and hate, he was fearless. He loved his fellow man to the utmost, realizing that we are all God's creatures. And he preached love and peace and denounced violence. He brought people together in the face of adversity to stand up and do what is right, no matter how hard that was, nor the consequences that would bring. He led the most important civil rights movement in our country's history. He helped correct past injustices and took civil rights, human rights, and equality farther than anyone in history. And for all of you out there that are hoping to one day make the business records 40 under 40, he did this all under the age of 40, since he was assassinated when he was 39 years old. This man was absolutely remarkable. And there are no words on any piece of paper that can ever do him justice. I am very proud of our city. We've got a lot of amazing things going on and a lot of things to be proud of. But our greatest asset, for sure, and the thing that I'm most proud of, is our people and all of you guys that are here today that are celebrating with us. We all care about one another, and we are all about treating people with dignity and respect. We are building and maintaining a city that is welcoming of all people, a city full of opportunity where people can grow, people can thrive, and people can succeed. And we as a city and as a people are leading by example here in West Des Moines. We have appointed and confirmed passionate and proactive, engaged human rights commissioners who work every day to make sure that we are upholding human rights and that we are working towards being more diverse, more welcoming, and inclusive of traditionally marginalized populations. We have hired an amazing DEI director in Audrey Kennis. Bravo! Absolutely. And she is doing amazing things every single day in this space, including writing the proclamation that I'm about to read. She's a great writer, incredible writer. We've got a very unified city council who has stood up against injustice and who has been supportive of everything we've done in the DEI space. It's been a team effort since day one. We gender balance all of our boards and commissions. I'm very proud of that. State law encourages it, but does not require it. We worked hard to take our municipal equality index from a failing grade up to an A+, and we have maintained that A grade for many years, and I'm very proud of that. We supported the Celebration Festival. We stood in unity for Ukraine, We started our first ever Juneteenth Day celebration, which I'm very proud of. We added accessible playgrounds for all kids across the city and in our parks. And I'm very proud to say that we are the only city in the state with the Human Services Department. That makes me very proud. We've done all this and our work has only just begun. So stay with us. And I do want to say too, this is not something that's political. It's not Democrat or Republican. It's not liberal or conservative. It's about our shared humanity and who we are as people. We all care about people and we want to do the best we can for everybody. And that's what it's all about. So without further ado, I'm going to read this beautiful proclamation written by our one and only Audrey Kinnis. First, I need to put my cheaters on though, because this is like 12-point font. Okay. Whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. devoted his life to advancing equity, social justice, and opportunity for all, and challenged all to participate in the never-ending work of building a more perfect union. And whereas Dr. King's teachings can continue to guide and inspire us in addressing challenges in our communities, and whereas we are forever indebted to him for his sacrifice, and therefore it is proper and fitting to highlight the life of a man who has such a profound impact on changing not just the nation, but our entire world. And whereas the King Holiday and Service Act enacted in 1994 designated the King Holiday as a national day of volunteer service, and whereas since 1994, millions of Americans have been inspired by the life and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to serve their neighbors and communities. And whereas serving on the King Holiday is an appropriate way to honor Dr. King, meet local and national needs, bring our residents together, and strengthen our community and nation. And whereas the King Day of Service is the only federal holiday commemorated as a national day of service and offers an opportunity for individuals to give back to their communities throughout the year. And whereas each of us can and must contribute to making our communities better with increased access and opportunities for all our residents. And whereas the residents of West Des Moines, Iowa, have the opportunity to make it a day on, not a day off, by volunteering with Meals from the Heartland to help feed our most food insecure residents. Now, therefore, I, Russ Trimble, Mayor of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, do hereby proclaim January 16th, 2023, Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a day of service in West Des Moines, and I call upon the people of the community to pay tribute to his life and the works of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today and throughout the year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Trimble. Lift every. Please stand if able. Okay. Oh, we might have to do this a cappella, folks. Somebody help me, help me. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought. Embracing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our parents sighed. We have come over a way with our tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughter. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the light gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou hast brought us thus far on the way. Thou who hast by thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in that path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the place, our God, where we meet thee. Lest our heart, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Rudy, you ready to come up here in a second? Thank you all for partaking. More importantly, the history is also on the song sheet. So it's one thing to sing the song, it's another thing to understand the history of the song. And one thing I appreciate about this song, as it talks about, is lift every voice. So all voices matter. Thank you.
Well, good evening. My name is Rudy Trejo, and I serve as the chairman of the City of West Des Moines Human Rights Commission. Before I have the distinct honor of introducing our keynote speaker, on behalf of the commission, thank you. On behalf of the citizens of West Des Moines, thank you. But more importantly, show up. One of my favorite quotes is, decisions are made by those who show up. And you all, as citizens of this community, as citizens of the world, have decided that today you're going to show up. Oftentimes, the new year brings new resolutions. And for myself, and maybe like many of you, you can maybe trim up a little bit. And sometimes you need that accountability buddy. And so today, my challenge to each and every single one of you, be someone's accountability buddy and get them to show up. Yes. Imagine a community and a world we can live in. If this number in this room were multiplied by 10, by 20, by 100, by 1,000, and it takes days like today to allow for us to remember that. And so today, make a commitment, not just to yourself and to your fellow citizens, but to this planet, that you're gonna be someone's accountability buddy, and you're gonna bring them so they, like you, can show up to important functions like this. So they, like you, can speak up when they see injustice. And so they, like you, can work to end what Dr. Martin Luther King fought his entire life for, discrimination, racism, hatred. Together, my friends, we can do that. But it's going to take a lot more than everyone in this room. Make that commitment today. We ask you, we need you. Thank you for showing up. Dr. Dow Jock is an optimistic, results-oriented leader with proven experience in nonprofit, military, coaching, and education. A former D1 basketball captain, Dr. Jock is a 2021-2022 SEL Fellow for the CASO Fellows Academy, is a nonprofit director, is a captain in the United States Army Reserve, and is a national speaker. His quest to create inclusive communities of human excellence by humanizing knowledge, leadership, and work is informed by his indigenous Dinka South Sudan roots. Dr. Joe currently serves as the Executive Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for West Des Moines Community Schools here in beautiful West Des Moines, Iowa. He holds a bachelor's in philosophy from the University of Pennsylvania, an MSc in global leadership from Goldsmiths, University of London, and a PhD in education from Drake University. Go Bulldogs. His research focuses on indigenous knowledge systems, indigenous education and leadership, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and social and emotional learning, emotional intelligence. That is a mouthful, my friend. His foundation, the Dutch Jock Youth Foundation, has served more than 2,100 youth in 3 countries and is currently active in South Sudan, his motherland. He was the collegiate winner of the prestigious Coach Wooden Citizenship Cup in 2014, as well as the 2014 All-State National Association of Basketball Coaches for his work on and off the court. Dr. Jock is an associate of the Harambee Entrepreneurial Alliance, an international alliance of the most educated African entrepreneurs across sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this evening's keynote speaker, the one, the only, Dr. Dow Jock.
Good evening, team. How's everyone doing? I cannot attest to the food yet, but hopefully I'll get there soon. Wow. So I want to say I'm here because somebody along the way loved me. Somebody saw me. They heard me. So it's on that note that I want to greet you all this evening. I want to welcome you all. Thank you, Ms. Audrey Kennis, the MLK Planning Committee, Dr. DeGere for the work that he's done, not only Greater Des Moines Partnership, but also Evelyn K. Davis and otherwise. I want to give a shout out to our students who will be receiving their award soon. They in the building as well. Appreciate you for that, sir. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge the elders of the indigenous communities on whose ancestral land we currently stand on. I also want to acknowledge the elders who have continued to share their wisdom with us, the likes of Miss Mary, Milton, and so many of you, Dr. Vicky back there as well. So many of you, right, who continue to show up. Thank you to the leaders who continue to show up every day across different sectors. Thank you for parents and leaders across different industries as well. And most of all, thank you for being present. Now, my name is Dow Jock. My pronouns are he, him, his, doctor. And you'll see why that's relevant in a second. You know what I mean? So when Miss Audrey was like, yo, you need to do the keynote speaker, I was like, dang, that's big level, right? So I thought right away of Dr. Martin Luther King's speech of the drum major instinct. And if any of you have ever heard him speak on that, he gave it It was a church sermon. And he talks about how James and John went to Christ and was like, hey, can you put us on your right hand and left hand? And he told them that it's not mine to give. But most importantly, that whoever it's given to shall be your servant. So Dr. King talks about how when we all are celebrating him like today, right? He says, yes, if you want to say that I am a drum major, say that I was a drum major for justice, a drum major for peace, a drum major for righteousness. And all the other things do not matter, to include 300 awards or more. And that's important because justice, peace, and righteousness are all things we can do individually and collectively. So today, I want us, as we celebrate Dr. King's legacy, to stop admiring the problems. On this day, we need to recommit to engaging in more truth-telling, to making sure that we're acting, because as we sit here today, poverty continues to force deferred dreams. Today, access to healthcare remains utopic for many Americans. Today, lack of affordable housing exacerbates the various inequities and oppressive systems in our country. Today, our public education continues to decline and disparities continue to widen. Today, racism, or rather white supremacy, permeates in different alleys of our country. Today, leadership gaps threaten the very fabric of our nation, its ideals. A compromised leadership and prevalence of counterproductive or toxic leadership is an existential crisis. So we need to celebrate Dr. King's legacy by calling each other to call it as it is. Every single day, let's solve the problem. Theodore Adorno said, a condition of truth is allowing suffering to speak. Who is being heard? Who is not heard? Who's missing? See, Dr. King himself says that truth-telling is the first step because the day we see the truth and cease to speak is the day we begin to die. So I want to call us, as we celebrate Dr. King's legacy, that we must stop romanticizing the service, wisdom, accomplishments, self-actualization of Dr. King without acknowledging the terror our country inflicted on him and his family. We cannot celebrate without acknowledging and celebrating the Black women like Ella Baker, Daisy Bates, Fannie Lou Hamer, Dorothy Height, Diane Nash, Rosa Parks, and many of you sitting here in this room. Imagine being constantly surveilled by your government, a country that's supposed to be the citadel of freedom, constantly harassed, constantly expected to carry the hopes of a people while shouldering the ills and sins of a nation that refuses to see your humanity. I'll say, imagine the courage to continue living your truth, knowing your life is in danger. The first attempt on Dr. King's life happened in September 20th, 1958, when a young lady by Zora Curry stabbed him with a 7-inch letter opener. Almost ended his life. Dr. King was arrested 19 times for civil disobedience and trumped up charges. Despite being a gifted man, brother went to college at 15 years old. He was gifted. Despite founding the Southern Christian Leadership Conference to mount non-resistant, non-violent protests against Jim Crow racism, the epitome of democracy, by the way, despite leading the civil rights movement, which eventually led to the passage of the Civil Rights Act, 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, all these accomplishments were not enough to stop America from othering him. Think about that. So I want us to stop romanticizing and let's absorb the pain and terror and sacrifices and emotional burden that some of you as leaders, all of you as leaders experience. Romance of leadership, right? Especially of BIPOC leaders to lead society's problems is, and constantly be present, is problematic. And in some instances, I hate to say it, dehumanizing. Why? I want to challenge us to move past and make sure that we need to see the totality of human beings. Do not reduce the humanity of a person to the single narratives that you have and the single stories that you have, or to fit your comfort. Because that in and of itself is problematic. Dr. King was radical in many regards. Radical love for human dignity, anti-capitalist, revolutionary dreamer, Christian, anti-imperialist, radical thinker, anti-racist, and above all, he modeled that two truths can exist at the same time. In fact, dichotomy is necessary for change. What do I mean? We can celebrate progress and critique it. We can celebrate and demand more from ourselves and our society. We can celebrate and admit the ugly realities that affect our fellow citizens. We can celebrate and confront white supremacy. We can be imperfect and be righteous. Because righteousness isn't predicated on being perfect, but caring so deeply about humanity that you're willing to vulnerably act even when you don't know. And most importantly, at the risk of your own comfort or life. So I can love America, especially as a captain, and put it on trial. That's why I serve. I can appreciate and ask for more. I can be grateful and demand that my dignity and humanity are respected. As Brother Cornel West says, justice is what love looks like in public. How are you loving? What does justice look like, sound like, feel like to you? I want us to continue asking critical questions that challenge the status quo. Continue inviting, and in some cases, unseating ourselves so that those who have been on the margins can reclaim their voice. You're not giving it to them, they're reclaiming their voice. We need to continue to lift the members of our communities whose voices have been absent and ignored. Continue asking who else is missing from this conversation or decision or community. How do I honor, affirm, or lift the intersectional, nuanced lived experiences of each member of my community? How will I or we mitigate perpetuating racist, classist, homophobic, Islamophobic, anti-Semitic, xenophobic, transphobic, ableist, or other oppressive systems? What have I done today to make a difference? Because you are the difference. You see, for me, a couple years ago, I was just done teaching at Drake University, evening class called Lead 101. At a restaurant. So being a military guy, you know to trace. So I could see him because I traced right away. My first instinct was put my hands on my wheel. Now, afterwards, I called the station because the officer said somebody was concerned about me. That somebody thought I was passed out. I was like, sir, somebody passed out, you might want to help a brother, you know what I mean? Like, come on. So I called the station, the station's like, hey, we can't tell you more. And I was hot. I was hot for two reasons. The first reason is that your own fears and insecurities, and as Coach Prime, Deion Sanders says, do not let my confidence offend your insecurities. Do not let my humanity offend your insecurities by your own. But the second thing is I felt bad because I couldn't blame him. He's doing a job. Why was he put in that position to have to choose? What made me such a threat that you call the police without helping me? So when I start asking those questions and race comes, there's 3 ways I deal with it. The first one is my problem is not with the individual, it is with the system. My beef is with the system, not the individual. The individual is also a victim of the system. Because Dr. King says, right, hate, you're not born with it, right? It's a system that teaches you that disposition in the world to have lands that are tainted. And all of us are guilty, by the way, right? Especially when we look at intersectional lands. For example, voting, everyone should have had voting rights after the 15th Amendment. But women couldn't vote till 1921. Black women couldn't vote till 1965. So the intersectional lens is that there's something else going on. So my problem is not with you, the individual, it's with the system. So that helps me stay regulated. The second thing, I remember the words of the Isuzu of South Africa. A person is a person through other people. I am because you are. Ubuntu. Our humanity is so interconnected that for me to hate you is also hating myself. That for me to cause harm is also inflicting harm on myself. And I need to check myself for that. Because then I can't walk around thinking my intent is all that matters. The impact is what matters. And there's privileges that I've been given in my life. i.e., as I sit here today, I'm a male, I'm educated. There's so many privileges, class, and so many other things. So I have to check those before judging. It's very easy to. The third thing, I remember the African proverb that when the roots are deep, there's no reason to fear the wind. I am where I am because of giants. Folk like my grandfather, Jong Dao, who was a paramount chief of my tribe and a brigadier general in the Sudanese People's Liberation Army. My father, Dudi Jok, who died fighting for justice, what became South Sudan. Malcolm X, whose practice of parrhesia. Parrhesia is bold speech, unintimidated speech. Speaking so much truth that sometimes we have a hard time seeing it or hearing him. Not because of what he's saying, because he's saying it with so much boldness. How dare you speak like that? Malcolm, to me, gifted America with the example of courage and linguistic genius. Why? The wits, I'm here because of the wits and intellect of W.E.B. Du Bois, Langston Hughes, Bell Hooks, Dr. Maya Angelou, Dr. Cornel West, Chris Emdin, and others whose brilliance and joy reminds you of all that is beautiful about life. Bill Russell, without whom I would not have had the chance to play college basketball. The Red Tails and the Massachusetts 54th Regiment, one of the first African-American units in the Army, 1863. Think about that. At one point during World War II, French soldiers saluted Black officers. The white officers were like, nah, fam, we're not doing that. So guess what? The United States military wrote a memo telling the French, you are to treat African American as less than you are, regardless of rank. So I stand here because there's brothers and sisters who sacrificed before me, both white and Black, and Latinx, and Japanese, and Asian American, LGBTQ brothers and sisters. I'm here because of all those folks. I'm a culmination of all their gifting. So I think about a Bruce couple who believed in the democracy of our nation. A James Jordan, had a chance to go to the Jordan House yesterday. Pastor Mike Hurst, old heads like Lou, Dr. Ahmed Ajiman, Dr. Mary Chapman, right? Isaiah Knox, Akeo, so many other folks. And that's not to say I'm only focusing on Black leaders. There's so many other leaders that I've come across. But I want to get this point across, that we cannot celebrate Dr. King without also looking at the other side. Because all these leaders also had to sacrifice, to give, to be, and it comes at a cost. So, everywhere I go, I claim my humanity by demanding that I belong. So I tell young kids, wherever I go, I belong. And if the space asks me to reduce myself, I leave. Not because I'm not deserving of the space does not deserve me. Think about that for you as leaders. Think about that. That your condition of belonging is not predicated on whether you're accepted or not. It's how you show up. And if the space doesn't like it, we gotta have conversations. We gotta have conversations because you're in position of authority. Ain't nobody's gonna come tell you something, right? So it may sound radical, but the easy thing is this, right? I want to end on this. I want to share a Terence, a Roman playwright who was a former slave, a quote from him. He says, "Umo sum umani ni nili ame limu puto." I am a human being. Nothing human can be alien to me. If you take that, true living requires you to reclaim your humanity and give others permission to do the same. So on this day, I ask you to reclaim your own humanity, your powers, your gifting and brilliance, and use it for a force for good. But Dr. King, when he was there in April, when he died, he was there to support the strike of city's black garbage workers. And the speech before he died, he said, "Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about the now. I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land." The man knew he was in danger. So I ask us that the most honorable thing that we can do to celebrate Dr. King's life and his legacy, a legacy of service, self-actualization, it's a thing. It's leadership, courage, faith, and humanity, is to exercise courage to confront inequities every single day and act every single day. Number 2, practice celebrations that consider the totality of human beings, not the perfect side, not the good quotes that I want that make me feel good, but the totality. And what you will find is that we're on a human spectrum. No one has arrived. No one has. Have the courage to act, to be, because that's all that is required of you. You're not required to know, to be perfect in order to act. Just by showing up as you already. Remember that our brilliance and what makes us us, which is we're going to be committed to truth telling, unvarnished truth, because that's the only way we get to know each other more. That's the only way we can share our humanity with others. That's the only way we can see people in their totality and not just certain parts. So as we celebrate, please remember that. And I ask all of you to reclaim your humanity, stand up and take on the challenge. Thank you very much.
World-class speech. World-class.
Man. Let's give another round of applause for Dr. Dow Jock. Man.
And I don't even know what to say no more. You just. That was the benediction. We can go home now. I'm like, all right, hold on. all right. But the show must continue. So we have some more important things to do this evening. So without further ado, I have the honor to introduce a lady we all know in the room. I think everybody knows this individual without doubt. I have the honor of introducing Councilwoman Renee Hartman, who in who in 2017 made history when she was elected as the first African-American woman to the West Des Moines City Council in its 125-year history. Yeah. Shortly after she arrived, she helped lead the charge for the city to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Day and hire its first DI director, Audrey Kennis. Ms. Hartman has recently been tapped as Broadline's inaugural Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer, as well as VP of Human Resources. So you can kind of see there's a trend going, right? She has a lengthy list of community honors, but I'll just give you a select few more. She's also is the trustee for Des Moines University, advisory board member for the Robert D. and Billy Ray Center, Polk County Housing Trust Fund, 5th Judicial District Commissioner appointed by the governor. In 2014, she was also inducted to the Iowa Women's Hall of Fame. And has received a number of awards for outstanding civic engagement, to include, but not limited to, it's here now. We're here. So Greater Des Moines Leadership Institute Alumni Volunteer Award, DMU's Diversity Champion Award, the Connie Wilmer Spirit Award, President Obama's Dr. Martin Luther King Drum Major of Service Award, Women Influence Award, and 40 Under 40 Alumni of the Year, and recently voted by the Business Record Readers as one of the 5 most influential business leaders in the area. So without further ado, Councilman Renee Hartman.
Thank you, Marvin. I really appreciate that. Thank you. This keynote speaker has me speechless. I am so glad I'm not the keynote speaker. I'm just introducing Catherine. I've heard a lot of speeches, and I've been to a number of events. And your words and your call to action, second to none. Second to none. And the West Des Moines School District is so fortunate to have you. Everybody else, watch out, because people are coming after you in a good way. I'd like to just say a couple of words before I introduce Catherine, before we move into the awards that we're going to provide for students, and then come up and do the community award. It's really, when I look at this audience, it almost brings me to tears, because we have been at this now for 4 years. I remember when I ran for office 5 years ago, I'll share with you a story that I knocked on a door. Actually, it was my 5th door. And I was told by the man at that door that West Des Moines did not elect colored people to city council. Colored people. I had not heard that in a while, so it caught me a little off center. I went in my car on that very hot day and I called Mom and I said, "You're not going to believe this. I was called a colored woman." I said, "I don't know if I'm up for this. I don't know if I can do this. What's the exit strategy?" And she said, "You know what the exit strategy is? It's none. You're going to go out there and you're going to walk that pavement because your ancestors fought for you to knock on that door. And your ancestors were hosed down, beaten, lynched, mobbed, so you can walk. And so you can knock on the doors." And she said, "You're going to go out there and knock on 25 more doors and you weren't planning on it. And you're going to try to make a difference." And what a difference that conversation made and had on my life. because at that moment, I thought about the people that came before me. It is because of Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy that I get to stand before you and do the things that I did, because he moved that dirt and allowed me to walk right through it. And many of us here today. And when I got elected 5 years ago, Tom Haddon can attest to this. I went to Tom and I says, Tom, we don't get Martin Luther King Day off as a holiday in West Des Moines. Tom said, no, we don't. And I said, okay. My first charge is to work with city council, no hesitations, to say, let's make this a holiday. And that was one of the first things that I did as an African-American city councilwoman, is to make sure West Des Moines celebrated and employees had the day off. But Tom didn't hesitate. He was like, just let us know what you need. I'm here for you. Tom was there. The next thing I said to Tom later, I'm tired of going to Des Moines, Tom, for all the Martin Luther King activities. What's going on? Here it is, 4 years later. West Des Moines, the city of West Des Moines, is doing its own thing. Right? Then the next conversation I had with Tom, I had to ease into it. He said, well, we need a diversity, inclusion, equity officer. Tom, what's the budget look like? Tom said, you vote on the budget, you tell me. And we got the best of the best, Audrey Kennis. So I say, presence matter and the dream matters. And we have to use our voice, right, for the good. We have to use our voice. You can't get elected in these seats and decide that you're going to be a guardian of status quo. You got to break it all up, and you got to challenge status quo and make things happen. So we've been at this for 4 years. I do want to honor a friend of mine in the audience, Dr. Rich Salas, for being the first leader of our very first Martin Luther King activity. You got this thing started, Dr. Salas. Little did he know, when he got on the Human Rights Commission, he was going to chair our first ever West Des Moines City Council. Let's go ahead. Okay. So, thank you. And then you pass the torch, right? That's what Dr. Martin Luther King does. And that's what he did. He's passing that torch. But you got it started. Thank you. So as I close for this part, I just want to say, let's stop and reflect what Dr. King has given to us. He's given us a moral and political direction. He's given us hope, courage, and inspiration. He told us that darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. He's been a role model to us all in the his Christian, and he knew it cost him his life. He gave us a nonviolent example of how to challenge and to resolve conflict. So he gave us all of that. We just have to unwrap that gift and use it. Unwrap that gift and use it. And that's why we are going to honor some folks that do just that. But the first one we're going to do is we're going to honor some youth. And the purpose of the Youth Awards is to lift our youth up and to inspire our youth to never forget the struggle. I want each of you, every youth that you encounter, to remind them of the struggle. Because if we don't understand the struggle, we forget where we are going. So we have 3 youth awards that will be introduced today. And I want to thank the sponsors of that. You can stand as I call your name. IMT Insurance for the youth scholarships. IMT Insurance, are you in the house? Stand. Okay. Mid-American Energy, please stand. And a friend of mine, school board member Lonnie Daphne, also helped fund the scholarships. So I'm going to call Catherine Harrington forward to announce the youth scholarship. But before I do that, I want to just share a few words about Catherine. As we all know, Catherine is the president and CEO of the West Des Moines Chamber. I consider Catherine the marketing arm of the city. I'm not going to go over all what she's accomplished, but I'm going to describe her in this way. Catherine is a friend. She's a mentor to many. She's a collaborator. She's an ideator. She's a strategizer. She's your number one cheerleader. She's compassionate. And in her spare time, she puts on over 100 activities a year, representing the one of the top chambers in the country. She was just last year making an application and was a finalist, I think in the top 3, as a finalist as one of the best chambers in the country, right here in West Des Moines, Iowa. So Catherine, please come forward. And let's introduce to the crowd and the group our youth scholarship recipients.
Thank you, Renee. I love you so much. I love you so much. And you know what? There's so many people in this room I also love dearly. And I know so many of you so well. And it's just so hard to hear about the struggles that you've gone through. I'm an ally. I've been privileged my whole entire life. I've had things given to me. I've had doors open to me. I just work my ass off. But you know, it's come easy though. So days like this are hard. I'm an ally. I want to be a voice. I want to help. I want to be a strong voice, and I want to support. And that's why the West Des Moines Chamber of Commerce, DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, is at the core of everything we do. We want West Des Moines to be one of the most welcoming cities in the nation, if not the planet. We can do it. And we can do that. There are 79 languages spoken in our West Des Moines school district. 79. That was very different just a few years ago. We are changing, and we are loving and embracing that change. So I'm excited. Many of you have participated in the Athene Black and Brown Business Summit, which will be just right down the road, April 20 and April 21. Our pitch competition, of which we've given $52,000 to Black and Brown businesses over the last 2 years. That amazing. And that's because of our sponsors. So the applications for the pitch competition open on February 1. If you know a Black and Brown business, have them apply. They will win lots and lots of cash. And also we are here to support them in just innumerable ways. So do watch out for that. All right, so I'm so excited. The criteria this year for our youth scholarships where you had to be a high school student who have demonstrated the principles of Dr. Martin Luther King. You had to shown visible and continuing leadership in one or more of the following areas: education, religion, civil rights, or service to the community. You had to live or attend high school in West Des Moines, and you have not previously won this award. So I'm excited to announce who has won. But first, we have a surprise tonight. So I'm not perfect. We talked about that, right? You talked about that. I'm not perfect. And I left a dear friend off who wanted to be part of this. Salmon's Financial Group, Ann Cooper in the back. And I don't know, my brain just, I had a day, right? So I'm pleased to announce Salmon is also joining us this year and adding to the pot.
So previously, these 3 scholarship winners, they were only going to win $500 for themselves to use for their higher education, and then $500 to a nonprofit of their choice. But now it will be more. So $665 for each youth. That's what they'll get, and $665 for their chosen nonprofit. Which is amazing. Yep. Thank you to Salmon's Financial Group. Thank you, Ann Cooper. During the March for Integrated Schools on April 18 of 1959, Dr. Martin Luther King quoted, "Make a career of humanity. Commit yourself to the noble struggle for equal rights. You will make a better person of yourself, a greater nation of your country, and a finer world to live in." These 3 winners all exemplify they are trying to create a finer world to live in. Their leadership attributes at this young age, you all, they get it. And I am so proud that they are in West Des Moines. I only ask you stay in West Des Moines. Please. All right. I'm excited to introduce our 3 winners. Miata Alwan. Yes. Come on up. Long time no see, my friend. Oh my gosh. She was one of our speakers at the Inspire 2023 event where we had over 100 people hanging on your every word this week. So you were amazing. All right. Nicholas Dacre. Nicholas. Congratulations. And Ranin Rahim. I would love to get some pictures of these folks. Yeah, thank you. Congratulations. Oh my gosh, when you stood up and did that speech, I was like, who is that beautiful person? Wow. Okay, amazing. So kudos, congrats to you. So $665 will go to you and to a nonprofit of your choice. So we will talk about that. We'll get you those checks, and we're going to do a photo opportunity during that check presentation. So the love of this event goes on and on. So congratulations so much. We also have a video, I believe, too, that they sent in. Not today, but we will put that. But we will put that on social media. All right. I love it. So I do want to recognize also, we have a couple of West Des Moines Chamber leaders in the room tonight. We have Meredith Murphy, who's our talent attraction coordinator. Meredith. Oh, careful, Catherine. Meredith, there she is. There she is. I love it. And the press release has not gotten out yet. So this is a surprise. But we also have our editorial intern. You stand up as okay? Okay. Yes, you know how to get a hold of me. I give you my card. All right. I'm happy to welcome my beautiful friend Renee Hardman back to the podium.
Okay, we have another award that we would like to bestow on a deserving individual or individuals. And it is the West Des Moines Martin Luther King Community Leadership Award. And my goodness, everyone in West Des Moines knows this couple and this individual. And tonight's honoree include Mary and Milton Colton. Come on forward, Milton. Mary. How you doing? This man is something else. Okay. Okay. Well, we congratulate you and your wife for this honor and this recognition that is so well deserved. I'm going to let you tell your story, but your history and your life is amazing. And the experiences that you have had and, learning and studying under Archbishop Desmond Tutu and all the kinds of things that you have encountered in your life with figures and leaders that have been a part of this movement. Milton, you and your wife have used your voice for the good. You and your wife, when you were on school board and doing everything, and you're on the Human Rights Commission, you always use your voice for the good of humanity. Always use your voice and your deeds and your treasures to make life better for others. It was you that led West Des Moines to do the vigil for Ukraine. It was you. You had this passion. You bugged Audrey until we got it all done, but you did it. You did it out of your heart. You even wrote the proclamation. You even wrote the words to the proclamation because they came from your heart. And you're a person that makes a difference in the lives of so many because of who you are and how you live your life. How you live your life. There's a poem that we know that's called The Dash, and that is how you live from when you were born until when God decides to take you. And your dash is so well lived, Milton. And so we want to congratulate you for being the honoree for the 2023 Martin Luther King Leadership Award. And we love you.
Thank you, Audrey. In learning that I was to be the recipient of this award, I felt unbelievably honored and even more not worthy. I said to Audrey Kennis, there must have been only one nominee. She responded, not true. I suspect that is the first time that the esteemed Audrey Kennis spoke a mistruth to me. I accept this award in honor of people that have gone before me and people that have taught me. I accept this award in honor of Bunny and Roger Maxwell, two highly esteemed educators in public education and also in higher education. A story that goes with Roger, he was to be hired. They're both David Maxwell's parents. They are glorious members of this community and all of our common life. Roger was to be hired as a music educator in a high school here in Iowa. The school wanted to hire him, but there had to be a public hearing and a public gathering in which he would be appraised and assessed. We don't do that to other people. But Roger stood tall and became head, the secretary for all of the public universities in Iowa. This award is really awarded to them. I also accept this award in thanksgiving of the work in broadening Iowa, West Des Moines, and the potential of West Des Moines. I accept this award in thanksgiving for you, Audrey. Thank you. I accept this award in thanksgiving for the work of my dear friend, Horace Savage, an African-American 95-year-old man who was hired to be the first Black teacher at an all-white high school. The first 3 days he arrived, In his class, kids would yell the N word. I can't imagine, but I can imagine. And finally, on the fourth day, as he was making his way to school, he was going up the stairwell, and somebody opened a shaken Coke and spewed him. When he went into the classroom, he said, I must tell you, look up niggardly and look up the N word. And he said, what do you see? They read the definition of niggardly. He said, I'm going to be your teacher for the year, and I'm not going anywhere. I will be with you. I don't hold anything against any of you because somewhere along the way, somebody taught you to treat others like this. But we are going to get along. We're going to learn to respect each other and know each other. My dear friend, Horace Savage. I accept this award in thanksgiving for the leaders of the future, like Aaron Kahn Gum, a wise man who already makes a difference and is well on his way. Thank you, Aaron. I also accept this award in honor of my wife, Mary Cole Duvall. I say that I've had a great life and a super great wife. And finally, I accept this award in thanksgiving for our outstanding city council member, community leader, Renee Hartman, who teaches me something every time I'm with her. Thank you, Renee.
Well, what a night. I'm still reflecting off the keynote there. All right. Well, for those, again, if this is your first time attending one of our multicultural receptions, this is a special one. This is a little different, but this is fun. And trust me, we'll be back here next year ready. Well, maybe like Jay said, we probably need a bigger room. That's been pretty evident these last 2 years. You all are ready to come out here on Martin Luther King Day for sure. So we want to make sure we accommodate you. But no, honestly, there's been a lot of great things today. I hope for those that have finding the work, try, come back at it a couple months later. This is truly something that hopefully all of you moving forward will take this serious, this charge of continuing this fight and journey every single day, that you are blessed to be able to rise and see another day. Because there's no guarantee. Can't wait till tomorrow. Can't wait till next quarter, summertime, end of the year. All we'll do in 2024. The time is now. And I believe this Greater Des Moines region is ready for it. Are you ready for it? Yeah. Are you sure? I'm like, I don't know. Are you ready for it in the back? I can't see you in the back. Are you ready for it? All right. Oh, yeah. No, congratulations, Audrey. No, this is big for you too. No, we're good. We're everybody. Listen, all I'm going to say is it's 6 o'clock. We on time. Have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your day off.
Really quick. One quick
wait.
announcement, just really quick. For those who missed the speech, it will be live on the city's YouTube page. So if you want to rewatch the speeches, the keynote, all the wonderful acceptances, please do so. Thank you.
Pick up a little knowledge like that.